Okay, Chapter 8, Kinesiology 101. Interesting little graphic here for you at the beginning. My job is check the box, rewarding, satisfying, and you can see here that in this little cartoon, slowly crushing my soul. I hope none of you feel that way, but perhaps you do have a job that you think is slowly crushing your soul. Occupational wellness is what we're going to talk about now. This is Chapter 8, and again, on that balance of all of our wellness categories, occupational wellness, huge for some people. Huge for some people. Let's get into it. Occupational wellness, it is when areas in your life, i.e. taking classes or volunteering, working, parenting, are integrated and balanced in a personal and professionally fulfilling way. Okay? So, occupational wellness is recognize your personal satisfaction and meaning enrichment through your student and work life. So right now your job is to be a student. Hopefully you don't feel like being a student is crushing your soul. And eventually you're going to have a job, an occupation. And your occupational wellness relates to your attitude about that job, understanding, of course, what your interests, your abilities, your skills, values, what you bring to a job. Okay. For many of you, it's about choosing a major, and some of you guys, guys and gals are seniors, so you not only have you chosen a major, but you're almost finished with it. If you're a freshman, you haven't chosen a major yet. A couple things to think about when choosing your major here, listed in your chapter. Willing to put forth effort to achieve goals, possess a strong sense of belonging to campus. Okay, all these things help you to achieve what you want to do in your occupation after graduating from college or grad school after that, or med school or law school or whatever you might be going to. Student may value and be motivated by a desire to help others. So if you might want to think about that as a major in occupation. Student may value and be motivated by interest in working as a team member. Other values motivate someone are competition, power, authority, working alone, acquiring knowledge, financial security, or money. When you're choosing a career, we have some steps that you should think about. First, self-awareness. Know what your interests are. Does the career fit you? And I think that's important because there's a lot of people who don't have satisfaction in their job and don't enjoy their occupation. And then many times they've picked something that doesn't fit them. I know a lot of people that have been in a degree area and they've gotten a degree and they've gone and gotten their first job in that particular degree area, and they figured out, whoa, this isn't really anything that's fulfilling for me. This isn't something that I want to do. But the thing is with any degree, you always have a lot more options, and there's always different paths you can take in your career. And that's the biggest thing in step 2 is awareness of your options. Step 3, awareness of what particular options best fit you. Okay, what should carry the greatest amount of influence? If you're someone who is completely motivated by finances and money is the big piece of the puzzle, then certainly you've got to look at jobs and career paths that might make you the most money and might provide you the most financial security. For others, it might be more about having that time to yourself. It might be that you want to have a family, and so your job has to be one that allows you to do that easily without interruption. Step 4, awareness of how to prepare for and gain entry into the career of your choice. Know what it takes to get into that job. Know what it takes to get there. There's an occupation and there's also your vocation. And for many people, a vocation is meaningful. And they're oftentimes willing to be paid a lot less because the job has so much meaning. Teachers, for a good example. But certainly if you're in this class and you're a nurse, you are without a doubt hopefully becoming a nurse because it's a vocation that you want to pursue. So vocation is what one does that brings meaning and purpose to one's life via work. Okay, vocational planning is a developmental process that involves self-exploration, career exploration, occupational exploration. It does require purposeful planning. Okay. Personality factors do influence vocational exploration. Your personality is a big piece of puzzle as to whether or not it's an area or the particular vocation is one that suits you. Whenever we look for an occupation or a vocation, we're also looking at what work-life balance might we have. There's a lot of us that take on careers that don't provide a lot of work-life balance, but I think at the same time, it just depends on what reward you're getting out of that career, what you're really getting out of being a part of that particular job. Certainly the job that I have as a, in collegiate athletics and teaching, while teaching doesn't take a lot of time, college athletics certainly does, as recruiting is constant and practices. And during the season, it's nothing odd to put in 60-hour work weeks if you're on a coaching staff. And there's a lot of people that would say that's not a good work-life balance. But I think if you get into that profession, that's what you're doing. And I think if you love it, then that's a big piece of it. And if it's a vocation, it's easier to maybe have more work if that becomes your life. Maybe it's not healthy. Maybe we need to all make sure we have a better work-life balance. But I do think it depends a lot on what kind of job you're working. My father worked in a factory for most of his life. Certainly, he needed a work-life balance. He needed a vacation a lot more than I did, I felt like. Only 14% of Americans were taking traditional 2-week summer vacation in 2007. Speaking of which, Americans, despite being materially richer than most countries, have the poorest health in the industrial world, spending far more per capita on healthcare than any other country. Some might say this is because the United States economy and our traditional marketplace, free market economy requires hard work and requires long hours of work and requires less vacation. And so there might be something to be said for that. Americans are twice as likely as Europeans suffer from anxiety and depression. In large part, these deficits are caused by a lack of time, lack of taking vacation or time for oneself. Okay. Although American workers are promised an average of about 2 weeks of vacation per year, they get back about 3 days on average. So even though we might be told we can take 10 days of vacation, most people take maybe 7 is what they're telling us here. Probably not healthy. We all need time to ourselves. We all need time to recharge. One of the things that we do know is that, and look at the second line here, there seems to be no positive effect when just taking a day off here and there. You need sustained time off. And that's true of any job. You need sustained time off. I think you become a better worker when you become better at your job after you've had sustained time off. Leadership and living. Leadership, decision to take action that affects change, mobilizing others to accomplish a shared vision. I am a person that believes leadership is important, but I don't think leaders motivate. I think motivation comes from within. I think leaders inspire others to become motivated. And I think that's just a Mahoneyism. 6 characteristics that make for successful leadership include vision, ethics and integrity, service orientation, communication skills, self-awareness, teamwork in diverse groups. Dr. Seuss, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. That is chapter 8 for Kinesiology 101. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you soon for chapter 9.